right now we're... Okay, now.
Okay, so I'm going to upload this now, as is, pretty much. Because as you can see, I'm going to be busy for a while. I've been busy every day, people, because I'm not stupid, right? There is such a thing as called winter with no money. So, the thing about Uncle John is he had a lobotomy. The minute he got into the hospital and they started drugging him up and the family came in, his extended family, not his family, his extended family came in and decided that they wanted his money from wherever it came from. It didn't matter if they were looking for his superannuation under his mattress, or if Joan left him a life insurance inheritance, or if it was his pension plan. The bottom line is they wanted his money. So they had to do a lobotomy on him, right? They had to start scooping out his brain and sticking shit in his eyes to kill off a part of his brain, right? So they could create, lack of memory, and they could control him and, make it so that he can get up and walk away, right? I asked him, I said, John, what's the matter with you? Why can't you stand? What's the matter? Why can't you get, I don't know. I don't know. John, why are you in a diaper? Well, they like to keep us in diapers. That's what they do here. Everybody's in a diaper. That's what he told me, people. Everybody in that fucking care ward was in a fucking diaper because the care workers didn't want to fucking help the people go to the bathroom. That's the bottom line. Right? It's easier for them to sit in diapers and be molested by these, strangers, right, that come in and wipe their asses, and God, what else knows what they do with these people. But I tell you, it's a real crime. And, it's the white race that exploits the immigrant worker, because if the immigrant worker stands up and says something about how these people are being treated, they're going to get sent back to their countries. They're going to get sent back to the Philippines. They're going to get sent back to China. They're going to get sent back to freaking India. They're going to get sent back to Britain. They're going to get sent back from Germany. They're going to get sent back from wherever the fuck they come from. Because when you go into these care wards, the majority of those people come from somewhere else, and they're not speaking proper English. They don't. So if they speak out about what's going on and how the people are actually being treated at the direction of the union workers, such as John Duncan's sister and the alike, that walk around with a superior attitude because for some reason she seems to think she's so better than everybody else, they're not going to go up against their co-workers like that, because they'll lose their jobs. So that's like extortion, right? If you don't do as you're told, you don't get paid. Bottom line. So they gave John a lobotomy, but they didn't give me one. And I'll tell you, if something bad happens to me, people, because my health is failing, I'm going down kicking and screaming. I'm serious. I do not want to go anywhere near a fucking hospital. I will die out in the streets before I will die in a hospital. They are corrupt. There's something wrong with them for them to be doing what they do to innocent families, right? And till as long as I'm alive, I'm standing up for Uncle John. I'm sticking up for him. I want him back. Kids want to see him. We want to see him. And that's what's gonna happen. As long as he's alive, we're gonna find a way that we can see him. And the Duncan clan, they can spam my YouTube channel and they can post their little childish, derogatory posts up on GOMI, because that's their only defense. That's their only defense, people, right? Like, they don't come out in the public, and they sneak around behind closed doors. Everything's third party on the phone with the banks, right? They exploit the immigrant workers so that, like I said, so they can get away with the things that they do. Because Uncle John's not the first person to have his assets liquidated by government employees, right? Whether it's through the guardian public trustee or whether it's through an extended family, like in John's case. Right? Tons of people lose their money Tons and tons of people lose their money through the public guardian trustee. That's what it's there for, is to take people's assets away. And then what they do is they send them off into these old care homes and they dope them up, and they take a hefty wage for keeping them doped up. And never releasing them from those prisons, because it's a form it's a form of prison. It's just a different form of prison. That's all it is. They're warehousing old people, and they use the hospitals and these temporary care wards to find out which ones that can afford to pay for it, because the majority of them pay for it. Very few are subsidized, because if there was more subsidized ones, you'd see less people out on the streets, and that's the bottom line, right? So, sooner or later the truth is going to get out. More people are not going to be afraid to talk about this stuff. And as for my food harvest, well, for these ones that sit up on the internet and want to, cast their stones, I suggest they go outside and go plant something for themselves and maybe try it, right? Because one day the shit's going to hit the fan, and when they open up their cupboards are going to be bare. And that's all I gotta say. It's gonna be bare like Uncle John's brain after that lobotomy. Okay, people, so this is what? August 20th, 2016. Here's the rhubarb. As you can see, it's nice. Picked it last night with Andre, didn't we, Andre? Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut them into 1-inch size, and then we're going to sprinkle a couple cups of sugar on them. And you let them sit for about 4 hours in the sugar, and then you cook them, and then you can them. We're going to do some pickles today, people. That's what we're going to do, okay? I just got into the carrot patch. I've been ignoring it, but as you can see, we've got carrots. So that's exciting.
And we got strawberries.
Yeah, Andre gets some strawberries. The strawberries are still growing. This right here, people see it as a weed, people, but it's not. It's actually very high in omega-3s and fatty acids and all this other stuff. I can't remember the name right now. It starts with a P. There's a similar kind of a plant, and it's hairy. If it's hairy, you don't want to eat it because it's poisonous. This one, however, is not poisonous. This one people use in their food, and chefs use it in restaurants, and most people see it as a weed. So anyway, I'm going to start eating it. I've actually tasted it. I've got some growing in my greenhouse with the Cuban oregano, and it's quite good. Plus, I have this all over my yard, so I may harvest some and probably either freeze it or dehydrate it, and then you can use it in soups or whatever you want, stir fries. So I'll get the name for that later. And then, because the weather is changing, people, went off and, I'm going to get these things, so hold on a minute. We'll get to that. I'll show you what's underneath. And then, because I got just a little bit more plums in the Andre was picking them off the tree, but they're all falling off the tree anyway. So I got a last batch of plums there that I made juice. Yeah, there's more. So what I'm going to do is I've got lots of juice, and I'm still making plum butter, but I'm going to make some Chinese plum sauce. Right, so that's what I'm going to end up doing with that, and those, and whatever else I've got in the fridge there. And then, this batch is almost done here, people. After I do the pickles and whatever I'm canning today, I guess the rhubarb and the pickles, they'll be added to the pile. And then we're going to label everything up, mix it all around, and then put it away, right? So what we've got is 2 jars of string beans, green beans, but I went out into the garden today. I mean, I just did those, like 2 days ago, picked them like 3-4 days ago, and I got another batch to go. I had to pick them. These are those, I can't remember the name of these beans, but they're very quite nice. And then, of course, there's these beans as well. So there's 2 different types of beans, right? This here is an apple plum butter, because I ran out of space, so I just added a little more plum butter into that. This is apple, oops, there goes that screen. This is apple juice. Oh, man. This is apple juice topped off with plum juice. This is plum butter, 2 jars. I will get a few more to go. So I've got 4 now and counting. 4 more jars of apple butter, plus whatever I've got already put away. We've got another 6 jars of plum juice. The thing about this stuff, people, is you have to remember it's concentrated, okay? 1, 2, 3. That's the equivalent of 3 cans of juice in a store. It's very rich. It's not what we're conditioned to with our taste buds in terms of, you know, when you grow up and you go to the store and you buy juice and it's made with fructose and all this other stuff, right? There is no fructose in this. This is like, it either has some sugar or no sugar, depending on what it is, right? Same thing with the apple juice. It's really good. We've got another 6 more jars, and I had, what, 7, so we're at 11, right? So we're adding on, and I still got apples to do, and I still have pears to do. So hold on a minute. Okay, so I just moved things around in here as usual, right? So this is mint. No money, people. I do buy tea from time to time. So anyway, I'm just going to dry this for myself and just whatever, right? Flowers and all. Have that as tea, right? Because the weather is changing, right? I don't take it all because the bees are still out there, and they, you know, when you have a lot of plants in your yard, the bees get to know that, right? So they come. I tend to have like a ton, like different variety of bees, right? I've got the bumblebees and the honeybees, and Andre and I seen some other kind of bee today. I don't know what kind of bee it was. It wasn't a hornet though. So anyway, I get a lot of bees, so I didn't take everything, right? Got to leave them something, right? This here is organo, so, you know, I'm going to be dehydrating that. I'm just going to clean it up and probably hang it and run my finger down it. This is some lemongrass. There's more out there, so I'm going to get more lemongrass, right? These are Swiss chard seeds. Right now, the slugs are eating my Swiss chard, you know, because this is a big yard, people, and I've been really busy with this canning, and, like, I'm extremely depressed. I'm extremely depressed, people. You know, with this gang stalking and this hate fest that's going on YouTube right now, like, as if I'm a fucking criminal here, right? Like, oh, because, you know, they're trying to protect their freaking lies and whoever, right? You know, just being little 21-year-old shit disturbers that probably live in their mother's basements, right? You know, or barren women that could never have children for whatever reason, or, you know, just people that are just kind of like, I don't know. So anyway, besides that point, so here's some parsley. There's a fair amount, so I'm going to dry that up a bit, right? You can see that. I think this one here is thyme, right? I can't remember. Or this one's thyme. I can't remember. So anyway, now the herbs are getting into my throat here. Quite pungent. Very strong. And then I got some more celery seeds. There's the leek seeds. And of course, like I said, the beans are still coming. So I guess we're going to can some dill beans again today. A couple more jars. I'm running out of jars in terms of the smaller jars, the 1 pint jars, half pint jars, but whatever. I'll just use what I have. Got a few more pickles. We got the plums. Hold on a minute.